everybody. Welcome to the Same Old Arsenal podcast. Wow. Well, we weren't going to go live. We made a decision in the week that if we lost, me, James, and Albert weren't going to do it. We just thought enough is enough. But if we drew a one, we thought we'd come and do a pre-Christmas post-game podcast on the Same Old Arsenal. Unfortunately, James doesn't want to do it. He's got the ump. So hopefully he'll be in the chat room. So it's just me and Albert. Um, well, it's weird because I haven't got any show planned, so it's just going to be me and you talking about the game. But
Mm.
you did a watch along, didn't you? By the way, hello to everybody in the chat room. Thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna just throw your questions out there, okay? But Albert, talk to me about your pre your game live, whatever you do
Watch
commentary
along.
thing. Yes, watch
Yeah, man.
along.
Yeah, I had to put a trigger warning, man, because this game for me is the one I've wanted. Like I said to you, I've said this to you for about how many years I've known you. I said, there, man, the one game I want is 3 points away at Anfield. We're gonna have to wait another season, Amanda, or two or whatever. But it's just something about beating them, man. It would have made a big statement to get the 3 points today. Amanda, it wasn't to be, man. But we'll discuss it, innit? And we'll chew the fat.
I think this is funny from Phil. Why has James got the ump? Did Klopp fall on him too? Ha ha. Well, actually, it's not actually that funny because
No,
the
it's not. Yeah,
guy
we've heard.
has broken his collarbone and we don't wish that on anyone. So we wish him well, that's for sure. And it was a weird tackle, that one, wasn't it? Because it actually wasn't a foul from Saka. It was a barge. They were going for the ball and then what was the guy's name? Sorry, I don't know who it was.
What Kostas Tsimikas?
Yeah, Simicast.
Yeah,
He fell
yeah,
into Klopp and Klopp fell on him. So
yeah.
it's just one of those things, unfortunately. And we do wish him well. Absolutely.
No, 100%.
So, right, let's just start off. We did a show in the week. We did our pre-Christmas show. If anyone's missed it, it's really cool because we had Alan Algar on, we had Jordan Jarrett Bryan on, Albert was on, James was on, me, Chris, and we did some predictions. And do you know what's funny? Cookie, hold on, JC, that must be Cooks, went 1-0. And Ella
Yeah.
and James went 1-0. Both the James went 1-0.
Mm.
I went 2-1 loss. Albert, you went 2-0.
I
So you
did.
got the
I did.
draw right.
Yeah, I did. I did.
So no, for me, it was like for me, I know everyone's upset. I'm not upset one bit.
Have you seen that upset?
A point at Anfield is tremendous. Let's just go back to the beginning. So the team comes out, Albert. It's what we expected, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I didn't expect there to be any shocks or surprise. I know Jordan, bless him, said he put a curveball to put Ramsdale in goal, but that weren't gonna happen, man.
No.
I think, yeah, sort of going into the game, the only worries I think probably for most Arsenal fans was how he was gonna do in the fullback areas, particularly on our left hand side. But I'm sure we'll discuss
Yeah.
that even more.
I
Mm,
I said
yeah.
on the show this week, my main fear was Salah and Zinny. I feel like I've boxed it, although I probably haven't because it wasn't rocket science to actually discuss that, was
No,
it?
no, it
Because
wasn't.
yeah,
No.
so the team comes out and it's pretty much what we expect. Um, I felt at least we had a gooner in on the Sky commentary. At least Theo was there. Um, and honestly, I think because I've got history, that obviously the first time I ever went to Anfield, and I've not mentioned this for a long time, was 1989 when we won the league. And then I hadn't gone back to 2015. And I'll say it again that what Klopp said in the week, the atmosphere is non-existent. Now, yeah, we knew they were going to raise the game today because it was all in the press. So we knew that. That was going to happen. But when the team came out, this is one of these games I find it very hard to watch. This and Tottenham, I find really hard to watch. I can't cope, Albert. This is the two games that I can't cope. First of all, big affinity with obviously Liverpool because of winning it there. The fact that every time I've been since, I haven't seen us win, so I don't go
Mm,
anymore, about 4 or 5 times. Um, and the fact that it, I don't want to say it's our bogey side, but we
well, it
don't
is, isn't
do
it?
well there. It
No, it
is,
don't.
isn't it? We just
Mm,
don't do well there. So I was quite. I was quite calm because I accepted, and I know you shouldn't, and everyone's having a go at me. I
Yeah.
accept we weren't going to win. So for me, I feel like we've won. I'm actually really pleased with the point at Anfield to keep us top at Christmas. I mean, yeah. So what was your impression of the first 10, 15 minutes?
Well, that was our fastest goal we scored this season, isn't it? And if you're going to do that, you're going to do the best time to do it is Anfield away. We know how difficult it is. We scored in 4 minutes. You can't start the game better than that. That was a great start. I thought, you know what, if we're going to go there today,
Yeah,
you undoubtedly don't want to see us go behind, but then we have to show a lot of character. But to go ahead, that was key, and to get it within 4 minutes was brilliant. Set piece, I think we've got the same amount of set pieces this season in terms of goals scored as Everton. I think it's 11, which is people talk about our play, right?
mm,
But one thing that you can't underestimate in football since the end of time is the ability to score goals from set pieces. And we've got height and we've got presence in the side. So that was great to see. Um, I went crazy on Amanda when we scored, but then obviously I kind of brought it back a little bit because I thought, oh, they're going to check it in the VAR. When I saw the replay, I said, yes, that goal's going to stand,
yeah,
100%. So great start. And for me, after getting the goal, it was how we cope for the next 5-10 minutes and
yeah.
not conceding. And we didn't, to be fair. I'm sure we'll talk about the goal, Amanda. Yeah, I'm sure many people have got their thoughts.
Well, I did. I didn't expect Gabrielle to score the first goal. That wasn't in my psyche. Not all week did I think Gabrielle's going to step up and do the first goal. But what I did think was, if we could get the first goal, we've got a really good chance. I think if it
Mm,
had been the other way round, like
yeah,
we
it's
look,
different.
where was we when we went behind very quickly, didn't we? Was it last weekend? Oh, I can't remember. Was it Villa? Sorry, my brain is a bit famished at the
Villa
moment.
was a couple weeks ago, wasn't it? Now Villa.
We went behind in 5 minutes and we were chasing the game. Did we lose at Villa? Honestly, this is how bad
Yeah,
I
one
am.
nil, one
Right,
nil
that's
Villa.
what I'm
Yeah, we
saying.
lost.
So we were chasing the game. I wanted them to chase the game, and that's exactly what happened. I thought the header was beautiful. I thought he lost his man brilliant, Albert. I thought it was a bit of a calamity by them and a good goal by us. Our defence is just absolutely immense, apart from the left back, which we will talk about in a moment. Um, Lovely goal, 1 up, quietens the crowd down, doesn't it, Albert?
Yeah, like that. Like I said, the perfect start. And I just think for that sort of next 5-10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, it was about us keeping our shape, which I thought we did. Um, like having Sleeper back for this game, obviously, we know what happened last season.
Mm,
Huge difference. Always having Rice in there, huge difference. Um, and they're a difficult side. Listen, top end of the pitch, Liverpool is a very difficult side to keep quiet, man. But you could see with Liverpool very evidently, which probably wasn't a surprise to most Arsenal fans, is Allison looked for that diagonal ball down our left hand side, and if it wasn't him, it was Trent that was pinging that pass. Um, and yeah, just it was. I know we didn't because I know we kept it at 1-0 for quite a bit of time. Actually, I think about 25 minutes, and then they got the goal. But um, yeah, avoidable, man. That's what disappointing for me. It's really, really avoidable. Zinni, he just. I
let's
don't
get on
listen.
to it because everyone wants to
Yeah,
talk about it. Right, let's have a look. Phil Macker said we were more composed than last year, but relying on Zinni to defend made us weak, and we again weren't clinical enough. That's one of the comments about Zinni. I mean, I've got so many here. Melissa's saying Zinni isn't a defender, so based on who was on the bench, what would you have guys have changed up? I think after a while, I was just looking at Carl going, can we just bring Kivior on? Can we just do it? I just think, you know, I think it's proven now, Albert. Zinni's not a defender. He's definitely he's a good player, but in the midfield, he's not a defender, is he?
yeah, but and that's the thing. Like I've heard Gary Neville say this. Like you don't even when he speaks about Trent, actually says you don't have to be the most fantastic defender in the world, but you need to be competent, man.
Yeah.
And the problem with him, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great pass by Trent, by the way, but he's still got a lot of work salad to score from that position, man. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
talk about Gabriel can come over possibly, but it's too easy, man. It was way too easy. And my problem is Zinchenko. And I don't think for most people it was just about the goal. It was I mean, there are moments in that game today, Amanda. I did on my watch long. If I clip it, I might clip it. I'm not sure. I was getting so. If we're talking about him, which the question was asked, I was getting very frustrated with him. And it wasn't even just defensively. It was just the way he was nonchalantly, easily giving the ball away. I mean, I even look back on the socials. Obviously, now the game's done, and the amount of people he takes Zinchenko off or giving the ball away or defensively not in a good position. It's a running theme with him. And my issue with him, and I'll put it out there, Trent's a good example, right? That he gives so much going forward, a lot, that you can compensate from defensively a little bit. I don't think Zinchenko gives us that much going forward to compensate for what he doesn't do defensively.
No, I get that.
If he's scoring, if Amanda, if he's hitting 60-yard passes and he's scoring from dead balls and pinging from goals into the top corner, that's different. But he doesn't, to me, he doesn't offer us enough offensively to get away with it. The other aspect of the game, which is defensively. So the thing is, who do you bring on? It's Kivior,
Well,
but then yeah,
Melissa's, if you look at Melissa's comment, Tierney isn't currently injured currently. Can we call him back? He won't,
no, he's living
but
his life in Spain, man.
yeah, I would in a shot.
Sociedad's in the knockout stages of the Champions League.
I mean, do you know what? It's so frustrating because we spoke about this on the show in the week. This was the
Yeah,
one thing that I brought up and said, I'm worried. I didn't even want to talk about it, Albert. I was so worried. And and you know what? I felt toe for toe we matched them. I actually thought at times we were better than them during the game. I want to talk to you about the Erdegaard penalty because me and
oh
Carl
my
are
god,
completely at loggerheads over this. I said
really?
penalty, he said not. Um, I'm 100% convinced it's a penalty, but I did read someone's tweet about a law that said if you're off balance and you handball it or something, it's not. So
He did slip. He did slip. Yeah,
he
he saw that.
slightly slipped. His hand was quite low. So what's your feelings on it? Didn't it right? Anyone in the chat room, penalty or not for you?
I think
And
Theo summed it
Albert.
up. Yeah, I think Theo summed it up. I thought it was, but
Yeah,
I can
I
see
did.
why it wasn't. But I can see why it wasn't given. I can 100% see why it wasn't given. Um, and it's funny with this. It's funny with this handball thing. Not even that handball thing. Just in terms of a decision being made by VAR, and it goes back to when we played Newcastle, man. You know, I can put. I mean, I can only speak for myself when I say this. I can put aside the tribalism and say decision's wrong, or we was lucky, for example, two opposite ends of the spectrum. But um, if Liverpool didn't get it, that's not Arsenal's problem. We're not the officials.
No,
They've
absolutely
they've
not.
they've got they've got everything at their disposable. They've got everything at their disposable, Amanda, and they didn't get it right. Now, like I said, I can see why it wasn't given, um, but I think we got away with one personally.
Well, no one in the chat room's agreeing with us. Everyone is saying it was not a penalty. Correct decision, not a penalty from Kevin. Um,
We did say he slipped, though. We did say that.
David, never a
Yeah,
pen unless it was the other team, in which case I say penalty all day long.
yeah.
This would be the sort of thing, wouldn't it? They would come on the show and go, see, Liverpool get away with everything. That was a definite penalty. That's what we would be saying.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I hold my hands up. I've got City fans going at me. I've got Liverpool fans tweeting me saying, "Oh, you're keeping your mouth shut about Erdegaard." No, I actually think it's penalty. As you say, it's not our decision.
We just said
Um,
it exactly, so they can't say that. They can't
yeah,
say that.
yeah. No,
They
no, no.
can't say that.
Um, I don't know how to say your first name, so I'm going to say Mr. Fitzsimmons. Sorry, Ado Hagen or something. No pen, but a bleeding Christmas
They're
miracle. It
right.
wasn't given at
They're
Anfield.
right.
Do you
You're
know what?
right.
I found the referee really strange.
Yeah. Go
He
on, Amanda.
gave,
Go on. Go on.
he let a lot go on both sides. Booked players when I didn't think he should book them, but I don't. think he was biased. Now, a lot of Arsenal fans were like, "Yeah, all right, Albert, I can see you disagree."
God,
Do
no,
you
it's not
think?
that. God,
Go on, you tell me what you think about the ref because I thought it was a bit. I thought he didn't give things when he should. Um, but then to both sides, if you know what I mean.
yeah, it was an odd one, man. Like the way this, I mean, I think we had 5 players booked. If I got that right, people in the chat check that. The Havertz booking, I couldn't understand that. That wasn't a foul. That wasn't a yellow card at all. I don't know how he worked. I don't know how I don't know how he gave it as a free kick. Firstly, and even if he's going to give the free kick, I don't understand how that's a yellow card. When he booked Saka, I think he booked him because he gave the foul against him on Simicas,
Yeah, it wasn't
and he got
foul.
and then he gave the foul. Then he obviously gave the foul. I think it was on Endo. So that's why I think he booked Saka. I think he booked Ben White as well, which there were similar fouls from Liverpool that he just didn't give a yellow cards to. So yeah,
But
he
I'm
gave
with
some
Kevin.
odd yellow
I'm with
cards, man.
ref decisions even themselves out. I agree. I think they did today. But he booked Salah for dissent, so he wasn't shy of doing that. I just and it wasn't a nasty game, was it? There wasn't that
No,
nastiness. So anyway, right. So we go 1-0. Zinny does. Do you know what I'd rather him done? Take him out. Because at that moment Salah's going to score. But there is always a chance with a penalty they might not. I'm not saying take him out for a red card, but slightly trip him, do something. But he did nothing. He just let him come inside, Albert. You've let Mo Salah come inside. I can't even say it. I can't even think it that you would allow that to happen.
that's what I'm saying. He had a lot to do to even get in that position where he's banging it past. He's banging it in the goal past Raya. So yeah, that was annoying. It's avoidable, but it weren't just the goal with Zinchenko. Because I was losing it at times when I watched along, because and this is and I'd attribute this to, particularly for me personally today. I don't know what the people in the chat feel or you feel, Manda. Martinelli, Erdegaard, and Zinchenko. You have played at Anfield before. You know it's a difficult place to go. You know you're not going to get the time on the ball. Be more aware and move the ball quicker, because there were too many situations where they didn't make the ball stick and they lost the ball, and it made it more difficult and put more pressure on us when we're getting the ball and we're losing it, and when we're not recycling it because it's difficult to get the ball back. Three of them were very guilty of that today. All three of them.
Yeah, I
And you could
agree.
chuck in Jesus in that as well.
Yeah, well, we said, didn't we? We said Jesus has to take the chances. We did
And
say
just
that.
Yeah, he just today he wasn't. He just the ball weren't sticking. I didn't particularly think he's really influential. I don't think the front three really, to be honest, Amanda, at all today. We got into some decent areas in the final third, but again, I'll go back to what I just said a minute ago. You're playing at Anfield away. You got to make the ball stick, and your decision making in key moments has to be
Yeah.
better, because defensively we were good.
I found right, so I'm just gonna go through a few players. I'm gonna leave Declan Rice for last.
Mm.
Um, Martinelli was not decisive enough, and I think because I said this to Carl, he doesn't look well. And then I think someone in the chat said he'd been ill this week. Now, if that's the case, and there's so many illnesses going around at the moment, I would not be shocked. He didn't look on it. Did he look? So Melissa said, with Martinelli being ill last week, do you think he was still feeling the after effects? Now, there's cold viruses, there's COVID, there's chest infection, everything. My mum and dad have been ill, Carl's been ill, I've been run down. I certainly couldn't go and play at Anfield. I don't feel. What do you think? Do you think the illness had a bit of an effect? I'm so pleased he got substituted. He didn't play great today, did he?
And I agreed with him being taken off against Villa.
Yeah.
I know people that some people are like, no, 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 you got to keep him on the getting behind. I said, no, he's end product, and his decision making was poor against Villa.
See, against Villa, he could have been coming down with it, and now he could be at the ends of it. So maybe by West Ham, he might be better, but he certainly wasn't good enough today, was he, Albert?
Yeah. Do you know why I wouldn't say that? Because I think for me, I'd say the last season, coming into last season, I said what I want to see from Martinelli
Mm,
is more goals. He done
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But then when you look at his numbers in terms of assists, you're like, well, if to me, if you're playing in that pivotal position as a part of a front three, your assist return has to be a lot better. And that's what I'm looking for this season. And in order for your assists to be better, your decision making needs to be better. You can't be running around tunnel vision and losing the ball and your like it needs to be better. So I know I take the point about the illness, but for
yeah.
me, it's his decision making again for me today was poor. And to be honest, he was right to hook him off.
Um, yeah, I think if he wasn't well enough, but Carl said, has Martinelli been anywhere his level of last season? Was he disappointing today? Yes, he was disappointing today, and no, he hasn't been. And is that what you're trying to allude at, young Albert?
Yeah, decision making. Two simple
Yeah,
words. That will uh, what even like I said, look at his numbers from last season in terms of assists.
yeah,
And I don't know how many assists he's got this season. I have to look at that another time. But it's his decision making. You watch it; it has to be better in the final third. He weren't the only
yeah.
one,
Okay.
by the way. But if you're asking me a question about Martinelli, that's the difference. Man, you go to Anfield the way you don't get many opportunities, and he had a chance before half time. You got to hit the target. You got two decisions. You got two things you can do. You either pass the ball to Havertz, who's in a good position, or you have to hit the target. He did neither.
So, do you agree with what Avon's saying? Hold on, let me get the
Go
comment
on, get
up.
it. Go on.
This isn't new. Martinelli has plateaued since the World Cup. His decision making is slow and often wrong.
Yeah, I agree with it. It is his decision making. It is. I like it. I love. Listen, I love Martinelli, but like I said, I'll go back to what I said before. For a player that plays in your position, your assists have to be a lot better.
Mm,
And by the way, people can say about the style of football. No, I'm not having that because we played better football last season. His assists were poor
yeah.
for a player of his position. So yeah, that's the answer to that.
Okay, let's go to a
Yeah.
few more. Right, so hold on. Let's just go through the game
Go
and
on,
then we'll
Avon.
bring some questions. Um, so we know what Zinni did. Well, didn't do. It goes 1-1, and then you're sitting there going, hmm. You're going, I literally was just waiting for it. I was waiting for the second goal. So it was 1-1 at half time, wasn't it? We went in,
Yeah,
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 that's right. Went 1-1 half time. I thought we played okay. Um, I think we matched them. I don't think they were anything spectacular. They had
yeah. I agree with
chances which we'll come on to. I don't think we had many major clear cut chances. Do
that.
you
No,
think it was a penalty for Havertz?
no. I'd have been surprised. I'd have been shocked if that got given. If I'm being honest,
I have to be honest now. Okay, I'm not really sure anymore what a penalty's given for
it's
because
true. Yeah, you're right. I agree with that. I just don't. I don't know what the
if
threshold
you're
is to be
allowed
honest.
to barge the player off a ball, it is not a penalty. But why should you be allowed to barge the player off the ball? He literally didn't even go for the ball. He just barged Havertz off the ball. Yes, I'd have been shocked as well. Absolutely.
I would have been
But
very surprised. Yeah.
honestly, people in the chat room, I just don't know. Um, let's have a little break there on that. I just want to say thank you to everyone in the chat room. There's loads
Yes.
of you in tonight. It's brilliant. I've starred a lot of questions. Keep them coming. I'd also like
Yes.
to mention a big thank you to Ruth Beck, our sponsor. Please go and check out Ruth Beck Art. You love her, don't you, Albert? The work she does.
I love Ruth. She knows that. I told her so many times, Amanda.
She's she's just phenomenal. Some of her work
She
is
is.
just absolutely brilliant.
So many
A-
ideas. Crazy. Yeah, she's got
I
loads more.
know.
Trust me. Yeah.
And her artwork about the Arsenal is just
Oh,
phenomenal. So because she's our sponsor, she's giving you a 10% off. So ruthbeckart.com. And if you type in the code same old Arsenal, you're going to get 10% off. Please go and check her out. She's
there you go, people.
fabulous.
She is, man.
Right. Let's get to some. So we come out second half. I was going to go questions. Don't know what I'm doing tonight.
Go on.
I'm going to go second half. I thought I thought they came at us a little bit more. I thought
Yeah,
it
I
was a
thought they
little
would.
bit sloppier. Yeah, they had to, didn't they? And although the Klopp said that in midweek and the crowd were louder, they still weren't. They still
not
weren't
they didn't create many clear cut chances. I have to look at it again, but I don't recall Raya tipping one round the post or over the
one.
bar. Or
I remember one
Joe
save in the second
Gomez,
half.
yeah, Joe
Yeah,
Gomez, yeah, yeah. But they didn't like listen. They're the home side. They got a good record there. Not too many teams win there. I thought what would happen in second half did happen. They'd have a lot more possession, and I love it too, Melissa. Yeah.
we
So,
love his jumper.
but Amanda, I go back to what I said in the show we had before. We've got a brilliant defensive record for a reason, and you
Yeah.
saw that today. Saliba was brilliant. That partnership with Gabriel was superb. Declan Rice in front of him, and if you take out that quality and level of quality in your team, we lose that game today, Amanda. We do. We lose 2-3-1.
Let's just talk about Declan Rice because we all want to. So for me, okay, they had 4-on-1 and it was Declan Rice. And the way he was running back, I don't know if anyone's watched, and Carl's going to be so impressed with me. I don't know if anyone watched the Game of Thrones when Jon Snow was on his horse and they were all coming charging towards him. Um, and he was just batting them away. If you want anyone back there, it is Declan Rice or Saliba, isn't it? You really do. I mean, Declan
Yeah,
Rice. We could just call it the Declan Rice show every week. We just wax lyrical about that boy. Um, what what he gives us is what we've been missing for so many years. And Cookie was talking about on comparables with Vieira. Oh, that's it. Battle of the Bastards. That's it. That's what it was called. Um,
go on,
he,
Melissa.
it was just, he's just immense. I've run out of words. I have. I've run out
I
of
said it.
words.
I did I did a fan cam last week on FTV, and my exact words were, "He is a difference maker." I don't think he was man of the match day, but he is a difference maker. You take him out of our midfield, and we lose that game. To me, it's that he's that important. He's that good.
We've lost many games.
You
Would
could
have
see
lost
that.
many
Like,
games.
even if you watch that game back
Mm.
again, which you can do if you want it, Arsenal fan, but and just watch Declan Rice, just watch him.
105 million.
Look at his
I'm not going
positioning.
to work next week, but if I
Yeah,
was, I'd be thanking my West Ham colleague like I do every week and drive
yeah.
him mad. Um, I just love him. Just keep him fit. I'm touching words. Keep him fit. Keep him in our midfield. We got a massive chance. Um, yeah, I mean, did we create much in the second half?
No, not.
Not
You,
really.
you,
I
you,
can't.
but man, that comes back to what I was saying before. Like, we got into some good areas, but I mean, there was one point, I don't know if you remember it. Jesus has got the ball on their left. He just fires the ball into the box. He's not even looking to see who's even in there. And I just think that's the decision making I'm talking about. Saka's put a brilliant ball across the box. Where was Jesus?
Yeah.
You're the main man. You should have been on the end of that.
Was that the one when it just went cross
Where
goal and
Saka's
there was
pinged it across, yeah,
no one there?
and there's no one in there. I'm like,
No. So
this is why Arsenal fans. Go on, man. Sorry.
this leads in, doesn't it, to the question about whether we need to sign a striker in January, which we were talking about again on the show, which we talk about every other week. Is we need some. If we had someone to put the ball in the back of the net, seriously put it in the back of the net. I'm not going to say we'd walk the league, but we'd have a bloody good chance.
It'd be a difference maker, but just not to upset Arsenal fans, but I don't particularly see us getting a striker in January.
No.
I think it's more of a summer thing. Whoever they've got their eyes on, and I hope they are, because the thing is with Jesus, right? And everyone loves Jesus. He brings a lot
Yeah,
to the team,
I
but
do.
he can play across the front three. Mikel Arteta knows that because he worked with him at flipping Man City, but he
Mm.
doesn't have to play down the middle, man. But the thing is, if you bought a striker in, the one player who's placed in the team who would get replaced would be Jesus, because you wouldn't take Martinelli out the side, and you wouldn't take Saka out the side. But
Oh,
then that's on the manager. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing.
PW saying we need another Giroud.
We need
I think we need a Thierry Henry. Or we
yeah.
need
Listen, there's name. Listen, the striker
Ian
market.
Wright. Ian
As a,
Wright
yeah,
would have a field day in this team.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, there's the striker market in particular. If we're going to talk about that, then it's not a massive market. I mean, Mbappe, Laurent Martinez, Kane. After that, they mentioned the guy Sesko. You've got Gorkarez, you've got Tony, you've got Osherman. But you wouldn't get any of those in January unless
No,
Arsenal. And we heard. I know people don't like to hear the words, Amanda, but FFP is a factor.
you don't
Um,
want to hear it.
and I don't see Arsenal doing that type of business, outlay money wise in January on any player. Um, but striker market, unfortunately, people, you might have to wait unless Arsenal surprise us in January.
Everyone wants to bring back Giroud in the chat room. There were many times where Giroud wasn't that good, if I'm honest. But
Mm.
okay. Well, I have to be honest. I thought the last 15 minutes were painful. Um, I was stressed. Um, I was walking around. I was trying to kept going, how long to go, how long to go, because I would have taken a draw all week, all day, all night, and everything. Because I just feel that I think a draw is a fair result. Does everyone agree with that?
Yeah, I don't. Arsenal didn't do enough to win it. I don't think Liverpool did really. Personally, I know you had the chance with Trent. By the way, we should never get done on a corner like that. Our
No,
own corner, by the way. Zinny and getting Erdegaard's like you
they get an
can't believe it.
Erdegaard spot. It was a bit
Can't,
Keystone
yeah,
Cops, wasn't it?
yeah, you can't. That can't happen. Arteta would not be happy with that.
No.
It's risky to do that, but you got a corner. You meant to be. You're attacking their goal. Can't be getting done like that, Amanda. That's bad. And if that
I
had
mean,
gone in,
they had 4 players. He could have passed to any of those players. I actually thought as he made the pass, it's in. To me, it
yeah,
was
I thought
in.
I thought, I thought it was gonna be a goal. Yeah, especially with
Yeah.
Trent. Trent's a
Uh,
good finish, good striker of the ball.
When it hit the bar, I thought,
Lucky,
oh,
very
could it be
lucky.
our night? I didn't think we'd win it, but I thought I'll take a draw. I just kept going, this could be okay. Because if you don't take your chances, as my father says, you don't win games. So 1-1 at Anfield. Um, Happy with that, Albert? Disappointed? There's someone actually asked us a question about that. Tell me what you think.
Go on. Amanda, you know with this fixture, I'm never happy not winning at Anfield.
Okay. So Trevor Saw, welcome to the show. Am I the only one annoyed with the draw? Anyone else annoyed with the draw? I'm not, no.
Yeah, I need a bit more context over that, Amanda. I mean, are you annoyed because Martinelli didn't get the shot on target in the first half? Because that was really. I think you might, if you're annoyed in the sense that did we create enough or did we do enough in the final third? No, we didn't. I'm frustrated with that because we have the players, Amanda, to hurt them, and we didn't do enough in the final third. And I thought we got caught on the ball way too. I mentioned the three guys, Zinchenko. I honestly, some of the points in my watch along, I just, Amanda, you can't give the ball away like that. Erdegaard getting caught on the ball yet again, like too many touches. Martinelli decision. His decision. Our attacking final. Saka was probably our only outlet. Looked like he might do something, but final third wise, you've got to do a lot more to win at Anfield, and we didn't do that in the second half, especially. And it happened last season as well.
Yeah. But
But
I'm
it's not
not
awful
unhappy
getting a
with the
point.
draw. A point at Anfield, we're top.
You posed the question,
Um,
Amanda. You posed the question. You said, "Would you take a point?" Before I said yes.
See, look, Brighton Naone, another one, new guy. Welcome to the show. I'm so ecstatic with the draw. Come on, Gooners, that is a tough place to go. Let's cheer up. We're on top of the league.
It's a fair point.
Absolutely.
You're right, Amanda. This
Fair
is the
play.
thing. I said this to you last time. When you posed the question, the same question for the last two games, right? Or Villa, Liverpool, right? Would you take a point? I said I'd take a point at Villa. Saw
Yeah.
people going, "Oh, but where the Arsenal?" And I said that don't give you a right to go with away at Villa Park. I think City haven't won away at Villa Park for 10 seasons. If I heard that right, I said what? With some of the managers they've had and players. So you got no divine right, and like I said, we ain't got no dog in. We ain't got no dog in the fight to say we're gonna go to Anfield and take 3 points. I thought it was our time today, man. I've got to be honest. In sort of the back of my mind, I was like, come on, man. If we're gonna go and win there, you know, this is it, man. But we didn't do enough in the final third. I don't think we did.
So Carl's question was that 2 points lost today or 1 point gained for you, Albert?
1 point gained. I understand the question because you win at Anfield. Winning at Anfield doesn't win you the league, but what it does, it sends a statement to the league, and it also sends a statement that Arsenal are improving away from home in the big games. That's what it does.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking we can't lose to Newcastle
No,
away and lose to Liverpool
no,
away.
we
We
can't.
just
We
there's
can't.
no statement there. Lose to Villa away, we just can't do that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think point gained, happy. I think that's the happiest I've been with a draw for
And
for a
and to
long
Amanda,
time.
to add on top of that as well, the wider point. Listen, us as Arsenal fans, it doesn't matter when you was born, right? We have played these top sides for the best part of the last back end of Wenger's reign. Our record was terrible, particularly away from home, by the way.
Mm,
Oh, we was getting pummeled by City, Liverpool. We couldn't beat Tottenham for 10 years. We couldn't get wins at Chelsea. We're improving massively as a side if I'm talking about those games. Listen, you won't find a supporter more than me that he wants 3 points at Anfield. I've been crying about it for about 10 years, even before YouTube life. So there are incremental improvements, 100%.
I'm going to do a couple of questions.
Go on, Amanda. Go
David Ziegler. Hi, David. Do we actively create chances, or is it more passive creation where we look to force the defence into decisions and then try to take what we can get? We are definitely playing different this season, aren't we, Albert?
Yeah, just go and look at the chances created in the Premier League. I think last time I checked, a few weeks ago, we was 15th. Then we sort of gradually moved up to 12th. Um, with the players we've got, we should have a much better chance creation. 100%. But will it get better? I mean, it's funny because we're the Champions League, but then I think teams that are different, they're happy to go they're happy to go 1v1. More room, more space, more creation, more goals, more chances, more goals. Premier League, your wingers get doubled up. Your wingers get doubled up upon week in, week out with Martinelli and Saka. Um, target Erdegaard. So it's tougher in the league. I think the only time we saw where I think for me this season where you had a team sort of go 1-for-1 um, was probably Brighton last week. Um, they were happy to play out for the back. They were happy to go 1v1 with Martinelli and Saka. Not many teams are going to do that. So Arsenal have to find a way um, where they're more ruthless, or if you're not creating loads of chances in the games where you are creating chances, you have to take them. Like today was a good example. Man, what did we do? We didn't have any really. The Martinelli
No.
chance in the first half, you score that, different game. But
Yeah.
something Arteta's going to have to figure out whether that comes in January. There's so many names being thrown about. Zubimendi. There's like it's going to happen. It's going to have to happen sooner rather than later. We're almost halfway through the season, aren't we? I think it'd be like halfway in the next game we play West Ham. But yeah, the football's very different.
What
With it,
Enzo said, we're not taking risks. We are more controlled and defensively solid as a result. That I agree with. Our defence is immense. And I saw people like criticising Ben White tonight. I didn't think he was that bad. Saliba and Gabriel are just. I
excellent.
think Gabriel has improved this season no end.
Mm. I mean, I hear what you're saying about not taking risks. If I'm talking about today's game, I think Jordan mentioned this last time on the show, and he's right. With Zinchenko, he is brave in the sense that he will take the ball on in tight areas and come in field and try and beat their midfield press. But that's one player. And he to me doesn't get it right. He doesn't get it more right than he doesn't get it right as many times as I would like to in that position. It's a tough one, man. I mean, what we like I said, 19 games in the Premier League now. If we're gonna win the league, we're gonna have to win it a different way, Commander, because obviously the football was better last season, but we fell away really, really badly. But then it comes down to our recruitment, doesn't it? But that's another kind of discussion. Like we're top of the league. Um,
Got
and
a
we
nice
move on.
question here from Phil Macker. Question: does Arteta make the game so complicated that when we reach the goal, there is so much going on in our players' heads they can't think straight and just stump it on target? I'm not so sure about that, Phil. What do you think, Alb?
Mm, not really. I just think it comes down to the style of play, really. We're probably better suited to Champions League football. The way the football, the attacking side of it is kind
Yeah.
of been reserved for the Champions League, but the Premier League has been a bit different. There's not been too many games this season off the top of my head. Obviously, the Brighton game, they're very happy to play out from the back. And like I said, go 1v1, and they're a good pass inside Brighton. So Arsenal are finding themselves in positions where we are defensively better and we are more of a solid defensive unit. That's partly a lot of that's down to Declan Rice, and a lot of that's down to our centre back pairing. Um, we can talk about the fullback area in another instance, but
Well, Phil's got another question for you because this is something I was wondering. Do you he calls him Herb Garden? Do you think Erdegaard feels overshadowed by Rice?
no, I don't think I don't think that's the case. I think with Martin Erdegaard, for me, I said this about him before. I said what I want to see from him is better performances away from home. This is in the last couple of years, by the way. I
Mm,
think he's done that. He's added goals to his game. People said he needs to get more shots off. He's done that. He does shoot more. He shoots a lot more than what he did when he first came to Arsenal. I think my issue with him, and I said this, and I think you saw this today. And I saw it last week against Brighton. I've seen it in quite a few games, Amanda, where for a player of his ability, he takes too many touches on the ball.
mm.
Like you knew what you was getting when you're playing at Anfield, man. Like you've played at this ground before. You're not going to get time. You got to move the ball quicker. You got to be more aware, and he's got to do that. He's got to find a way to be better in games away from home. I'm not saying he was awful, by the way, but
No.
um,
Who was your
yeah,
man of the match, actually?
for me, ooh, I think is it Neville Carragher gave Saliba, didn't he?
Mm,
I'd go with that.
yeah,
Man,
so would I think.
that centre back pairing and Rice absolutely pivotal to our team, and they're
Rice, Gabriel, and Saliba.
yeah, massive, massive,
It
yeah,
reminds me of Gilberto, Adams,
mm,
Keown, that sort of Vieira,
yeah,
Adams, Bold, you know, and that's where he's definitely built on and improved.
yeah,
We just need someone to put the ball in the back of the net.
yeah.
Right, couple more questions. You got any more questions, people? Please send them in.
Oh,
Right,
come here.
because he's driving me mad and he says it every show. Who's going to win the league? I never ask it. I'm not answering it. What do you think, Albert?
If I'm going back to what did I say at the start of the season? I said City, didn't I?
Yeah,
And Arsenal get second. Oh, so let's hope we're proved wrong. I mean, like I said, I think someone asked me. They asked me on if they said to me if Arsenal beat Liverpool, we will win the league, and I said no. I said ask me in February, March, and that kind of logic still applies really after the day's result. Too early to say, man. They were halfway through, man. Like, what you're going
yeah,
to commit to us saying Arsenal going to win the league? I mean, we still got to play Liverpool at home. We still got to go to City away. Um, we still got Tottenham away. We've got some big games of football, man. I'm just talking about the so-called Big Six or Big Five, what you want to
yeah.
call it. We got some tough games of football. We still got to play Villa when they come to us. Tough games, man. Still got to play Newcastle, man. We
Do
got
you know what? I
tough
think every
games.
game's a tough game. Didn't West Ham beat United today? That's our
2-0.
next game,
Yeah.
Albert.
If you look at
Right.
Sheffield United yesterday, would never have picked that result yesterday. Not
Never.
in a million
No one would.
years.
Phil's got another question for us. Is the reason Raya still feels untested because of our brilliant defence? And if so, do you think we should have stuck with Rame?
I think they absolutely protect him 100% because the defense has been brilliant. That's not to be harsh, not because Rare has been part of that, because he's made some poor mistakes this season. Um, Listen, if we see more of the Raya, that we saw at Brentford, and I get it, it's a step up in class. I think we'll have less discussions about the quality of David Raya if we see that Raya at Brentford, but um, still not. I won't say I'm beating down the door with admiration from what I've seen in an Arsenal shirt from him personally.
I like what David said there. You can't win the league in December, but you can't lose it. So that's what people were saying. If we beat Liverpool, this is on. Liverpool fans were saying to me last week they'll beat United and beat us, and they can't see anyone touching them. Meanwhile, they haven't beaten either. So Melissa said Luton beat Newcastle, which
Today they
was
did, yeah, yeah.
unbelievable. Cole said everyone's beaten United. To be fair, well, um, and I agree, Davey. All this negativity, you think we just lost 6-0 at Scunthorpe. I'm absolutely. I said I'm over the moon on Twitter. I was like, I'm over the moon. This is 1 point
Does he
games
does
at
he does he
Anfield.
does he does he mean more so like the social side of it? Because we see that every week, Amanda.
Yeah, I mean, look, John's saying it. Look, if we can't, excuse me, if we can't have a smile on our faces, top of the league in Champions League 2 seasons ago, we would have cut our arm off to be in this position. It's
Yeah,
trust
it's a
the
good point.
process.
You know what it is for me. It's just you know how much how much it is when when we play Liverpool and for me, man. But it's just if I'm talking about what the comment John just put, you're right, man. Because Arsenal fans have been crying, they crying themselves to sleep, um, tears on the pillow. Mr. Champions League anthem, Mr. Football. We're back in the Champions League. We're in the knockout stage. We've got a decent tie, I think, personally, drawing Porto, top of the league, with a different style of football. Um, so it's true. Like I've always said, the point was made, and I don't know too many teams that can win trophies in December.
Hmm, no, that's true. Let's talk about our upcoming game about West Ham.
Yes, I'm
Just for
going,
everyone in the
Amanda.
chat, the boys are going to be back because James and Chris weren't able to make it tonight. Next Friday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So have your lunch and then come and join them. I'm not on that show. I've got family commitments at the moment. But we play West Ham the night before. We go into that match.
I'm going,
I
my
think
man.
it's going to be a good match. My prediction for West Ham, I've already done it. See how organised I am. Is 3-1 to us. That's what I think. So everyone in the chat, what's your prediction for West Ham and Albert? Have a think. And we've
Yes,
got no Havertz, which just saw Melissa, but I knew I was saying that to Carl. We've got no Havertz against West Ham. You
that's why
can't
that
have
booking
that,
was. That's
Carl.
why that booking
3-1.
was
That's
ridiculous.
fine. Um, sorry, say that again.
I said that's why that booking, not that
Yeah,
Havertz was in. No, that was never a yellow card. I just the referee, yeah. Anyway, but he's missing. That's so yeah. What sounds a funny one, Amanda, man. Um,
very.
yeah, no, because I mean, they went to Tottenham and they were dreadful in that first half against Spurs. I couldn't believe what
Yeah.
I was watching. But then I don't know what happened in the second half. I think they lost. Did they lose at home to Everton? Did they this season? I can't remember now. I think they did. I have to double check that.
Yes.
Yeah, like they so I expect them to turn up against us at the Emirates, man. I think we'll win. I think we'll win 2-1. Actually, I think we'll concede. But yeah, 2-1. 2-1. I think we'll edge
All
it.
right. So you're 2-1, I'm 3-1.
Yeah, we need to watch out for Mohamed Kudos, man. He's playing well.
Right. Everybody in the chat room. Has everybody pressed like? If you don't press,
Yes.
everyone's got to press like if you're top of the league.
I
So
mean,
if
they
you're
should push
goonered
likes
in
on it.
there should be quite a few hundred likes by the time we finish this show. And for everyone on audio, if you could follow us and rate us, that would be great. I know I say it every week, but it really means a lot to us because we're getting our show out there. And on
Yeah.
that note, I have got a little announcement. It's a lovely announcement, actually. On behalf of Chris, James, and myself, we'd like to say a massive thank you to everybody on audio because we've hit 100,000 downloads
Oof.
since January the 1st. And that isn't, it's going to
Phenomenal.
go over that because obviously we've got a couple more shows before the end of the year. 100,000 downloads. I
Ooh.
can't believe 100,000 people have had to listen to my dulcet tones most of that time. So a massive thank you from everybody at the Same Old Arsenal podcast. But if you do press like and the algorithm gets out there, there'll be more and more people joining our show. And Declan Rice's youth team coach, Anthony Gow, who couldn't come on Wednesday night, was so upset, has sent me a voice note every day this week to say how gutted he was. We'll be on in January. that's for sure. And we're going to have some really, really interesting guests coming up, especially for the Crystal Palace game as well. Not that Albert's not interesting. Albert's one of our boys.
I'll be there for West Ham. I'll be there.
So,
I was successful in the ballot.
oh, fantastic, Albert.
Yeah,
Well,
West Ham.
maybe we
I'll be there.
can bump into each other and have a little chat. Um, Thank you, Phil. That's so lovely. I'm just going to ask this question. John Rowe was going to ask it. Instead of Havertz, who are you playing instead of Havertz?
Trossard will
I
come in.
said Smith Rowe.
Trossard will come in.
Trossard, I think that as
100%. Yeah, I
well.
think so. 100%.
And he is an awesome guest as well.
Cheers, Carl.
I
Money's
can't
in the
believe
post,
we've
mate.
got 100,000 downloads. That's
Yeah,
madness.
that is mad. Yeah, that is mad.
That's mad. We're like nearly 50% up on the year before. So it's just fantastic. Honestly, Chris, James, and we work really hard and we're trying to bring 1 or 2 shows a week. I think in the new year, James will bring back his preview shows. We'd like to thank all our guests as well, but
See,
I'm
Amanda,
sure the
hit.
boys.
See, Amanda, hit them KPIs, Amanda. That's it. Go on.
It was KPI. I don't even know what that means. But I'm just looking on my
Yeah.
calendar because I'm not going to wish you a happy new year because I'm gonna do a post game show after Fulham Arsenal because I'm not out New Year's Eve. So as soon as
Is
that
that on
ends, we'll
TV?
do
That's
that.
on
So
TV, Amanda, isn't it?
yeah,
That is
two
on the
o'clock. I
box, isn't
couldn't
it?
get a ticket for that.
That's a
2
shame.
p.m.
That's good for the Arsenal
Um,
fans though. Like London, not traveling, flipping. I think we had Brighton away a few years ago, New Year's Eve. It's like, oh God, like R5 kickoff.
no, it's 2 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah.
So people can end
No,
up
it's
in
good.
London, can't they? After
It's good.
hopefully we beat Fulham.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Um, I think we're
You're
done. I
telling you
think all
about
the
in the chat.
questions.
I knew what it was, but Carl's put it in the chat.
What did he put in
And
the
everyone,
chat?
they put what KPIs means, isn't it? Key performance
He
indicators.
would know, wouldn't he? The project
Go on,
manager,
Carl.
he'd know.
Yeah. Oh
Oh, and
man, on
Avon
retail
knew.
days. Yeah,
Key
yeah, yeah.
performance
Yeah,
indicators.
of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm a
Go on, Amanda.
sales progressor. We don't have KPIs. We just got to get houses exchanged.
Yes.
Carl Start's got a question. What's more pointless trophy, the European Super Cup or the FIFA World Club Cup?
Yeah, they went to Saudi Arabia for that, didn't they? I mean,
Mm,
but man, do you know what it is? They don't care. They want to break these players play as much football as possible. They couldn't care less, man. It's pointless, but it's not pointless for the money makers, just advertisers.
no,
More football for them, the better.
absolutely. Right, I think we're going to say goodbye, young Albert. I think we've covered tonight. I think
We have.
you and I in agreement. It's a point gained. It's Anfield
Mm,
away. It's top at Christmas. We're doing well. We'd love Juri and Timber to come back very
Oh,
soon.
don't think that's
Oh,
happening. Yeah,
I know. I know. Um, Albert, tell everyone where they can find you.
Amanda, once again, thank you for having me on. Merry Christmas to you and everybody else in the chat and when they watch this back. And all your listeners, you'll get to hear my dulcet tones as you might have heard before. But yes, you can find me, Albert JTV, here, there, and everywhere. Radio, my own channel on here. Yeah, and come and subscribe, people. I'm gonna trying to get these numbers up on my channel subscriber base. But yeah, come and hit me up on Albert JTV and Twitter
It's
handle at
criminal that your
AU157.
numbers are not up. You're absolutely brilliant.
Well,
Everyone on
I,
audio, go and follow Albert. He puts so much content out there.
yeah,
He's brilliant.
yeah, man, YouTube's a funny one, man. Like,
Mm.
I'm not typically, I'm talking specifically YouTube here. I'm not your typical content creator in the sense of, how can I put it, Amanda?
No, but you're an Arsenal fan that goes to the games, who loves the game, and you're a match going fan. You don't need to be famous. You
I'm
just
not, you know what it is? Not vibes. Vibes is the wrong word. I'm not. I see streams on YouTube. So there's 6, 7 guys on stream that are arguing. There's no respect. I don't behave like that.
no,
So that's probably
no, not at all.
that's an element of it. I'm not saying it's right, but I know how YouTube works enough to know why that might be the reason.
Well, it might be, but everyone can choose to do things for likes and clickbait and all that. But
Yeah,
we just want to talk
yeah,
about the game.
yeah.
No, Phil, I said no to the radio tomorrow morning because I want a weekend off the radio talking about the Arsenal.
Yeah.
As I said, I'll be back Sunday week. to post game Fulham Arsenal. Don't know who's on with me yet. I'm not sure the boys are around, but I'm going to do it. But the boys will be here Friday, as I said, 3 p.m. to discuss what happened at West Ham, to preview Fulham. On behalf of everybody at the Same Old Arsenal, we'd love to thank Nigel and Carl for all their help
Yes.
moderating
Go on,
this,
Nash and Cole.
for Carl for doing all the downloading and everything else he does, because he does all that. I'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful time with your families. Keep them close. Have fun. Drink. Be merry. I'd like to wish my mum better, who's really poorly at the moment, and I'm hoping she gets better for Christmas. Love you, mum.
Ah, well
Um,
said. Well said.
to my dad, who always says the same thing.
Go
You
on,
don't take
Kels.
your chances, you don't win games, and goal difference matters, bless him. And he's the reason I'm a gooner. And yes, if you could, I should mention this, follow the Same Old Arsenal on TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter. Our TikTok account is absolutely massive. So please go and follow it, because Cole puts a lot of content out on all of these things. Thank you, Phil. Big hugs to my mum. Merry Christmas from CM. We really appreciate all you listeners. I promise you, and everyone on YouTube, all your questions. Every time you retweet, everyone that talks to us on Instagram, it's lovely. We're here because we love the Arsenal, don't we, Albert? But on
Yes,
that note,
absolutely.
it is thank you so much for joining me. And I'd like to thank all our guests this year. But as I said, I'm going to do a New Year's Eve show, so we'll be going through that as well. And Matt the Gooner said, Albert is a top gooner. Merry Xmas, good health and happiness to all. What a
Go
lovely
on, Matt.
way to end the show. Top of the tree, Gooners. Top of the tree. Enjoy your Christmas. We'll see you at the Emirates very shortly, Thursday evening. Feels weird, doesn't it? Because it's like Christmas
Mm.
in between all that. Have a lovely time and never forget, always Arsenal. Good night, everyone.